Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another day of league racing in RTG. And tonight we're back again with a full qualifying session. Once again, I'm telling myself that. And tonight, instead of the 18, we've got 20 for this evening. A lot of the drivers that you saw last night, bar a couple of new faces and ones we didn't see yesterday, but familiar faces. Said we're at Spa, and the heavens have opened for the first part of this qualifying session. They're on the intermediate tyres by the looks of things, especially, well, certainly for Nixa in the Haas this evening. And so, talking about Spa, we're going to have 22 laps to run in this race. It's 19 corners, and the track distance is 7.004 kilometres, and that's 4.352 miles in length for everyone for imperial measurements. And of course, this is the longest track on the calendar, and probably would be close to being a vote of some of the drivers' best circuit to race on in real life and league races alike. So 20 drivers, we've got 18 minutes, well, less than that now, 15 and a half minutes of this Q1 session. We go on to Q2, then Q3 to work out the top 10 order, and obviously before that we knock out the bottom 5 from each session coming up, and then we'll get into our 22 lap 50% race distance for this round 1. The champion from last season was of course Chuckle, followed by his brother of Chuck, and hopefully for Chuckle's sake he can do a double once again. So I think Lee's all sorted for what he needs to do. As I said, the heavens have opened.
Yep.
May become interesting.
Now, wonder if it's going to be getting worse as qualifying goes on, or is it going to get better as it goes on? But either way.
Well, that's why I said the first part, because he didn't jinx anything. So just for the first moment, this moment in time, we've got wet weather. So it's the intermediate tyres though, so it really could go either way. The further on into the session will stay exactly the same. Clouds don't seem to be too dark overhead. Do see some blue skies in the distance.
Well, some of the drivers will be hoping for a bit of a dry race. Oh, seems Stephen Jones getting a little bit too much on the curb there. He's come to the end of sector 2 there. Lost a bit of grip there.
Yeah, well, he's going to be the first driver to set a time. We've had to wait a while for that to happen with the conditions as they are, and as I said, the longest circuit on the calendar, so in dry and wet conditions we get the longest lap time at this circuit. We're looking in sort of maybe the high 150s for this lap, maybe in the, as we do see that with a 158.982. And then up next I think we've got Nixa.
Yep, just coming into the final chicane now. Let's see the thing he's going to go to put on the board. Going to go a little bit quicker, I think. Yep, it is a 158.2. Mike Jones just smashes that with 157 flat.
Yeah, that was a very, very quick time. It's Faulkner makes his way across the line with a 57.5. And of course, drivers will know what's going to happen with the weather, or have some kind of indication what's going to happen next. So they may just be putting bankers in if it gets drier. But of course, if it's going to get wetter, this moment in time is crucial in this first part of qualifying.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the weather could worsen that a little bit and then just not be enough to get through, but it's just one of them. You're better to just get out and set a lap time, just in case.
Yeah, as Aki's making his way around the final corner, I've noticed he's got the Lando Norris helmet in the Mercedes, a rather odd one as we go across the line with a 158.602. Almost actually looks like Lewis Hamilton's actually driving the car with his helmet being that colour the last couple of years. Taylor Danny with a 156.4. Now, is that a top lap from Taylor Danny there, which he may say so himself, or is the track improving?
I'm not sure, to be honest, actually. Not sure what I think. See, at some tracks, to be honest, when I'm on board, it looks like it's absolutely bucking down, and then other times it looks like it's not.
Well, another thing to say, Lee, I think Chuckle was due a promotion, Lee, because he's come from Alfa Romeo last year to Ferrari this year.
Yeah, well, let's see if it's going to pay off.
Yeah, well, hopefully he won't take a leaf out of Charles Bottle Job Leclerc. No disrespect to Leclerc fans, but that's the man's name at the moment in my house.
I mean,
coined by my girlfriend, my fiance. I keep doing that. She keeps killing me for saying that. Fiance, yeah. That's the first time I've done it in ages, though. Fiance, it says that. It says that quite. Yeah. She's the one that coined that phrase, not me. But I quite like it. Because he is a bottle job. As
Leclerc fan here, and I'll agree.
Oh, are you a Leclerc fan? I didn't know that.
Well, I do like Leclerc, right, but he does
a Verstappen fan, me.
No, I'm not. That was a joke. Sure.
I might have to start watching soon because pretty much every Sunday I'm now starting to cry. So
it's basically it's just a challenge for like third now.
Huh? It's just a challenge for third, yes.
Yeah.
It's back to the Mercedes days again, which I didn't mind. As Chuckle comes, and I say that actually whilst wearing my Mercedes shirt. So yes.
Oh, I'm not a fan of it. It's just taking us back to
No, I know.
Like
the last really good season though was 2021. Regardless of the outcome, the actual season as a whole was really good.
2012 was a damage year.
Yeah, as I told you, there was a point for a couple of years where I didn't really watch it. I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and I was just like about 2011 and 12, maybe a bit of 13 as well, where I didn't really watch it very much. And then from 2014 onwards, I pretty much watched every race ever since, I think. But yeah, I used to watch it from about 2006 to 2010 or so, pretty religiously, and then what I quite liked Fernando Alonso is if we lose Lee again, this happens every single week now. It's becoming accustomed to our commentating. So there'll be a few moments of me all by myself as Chuck did just set a time. We've got Vil making his way into the final two corners to start a lap. There's Royal Rumble. Really has a poor exit out of no-name corner as he goes into Pouhon. So as we're just watching Royal Rumble finish his first attempt, as we have just under 7 minutes on the clock. As he makes his way through the bus stop, round the final corner of turn 19, and makes his way to the line, goes up into 10th, is 10th and 11th for the Red Bull drivers at the moment. We've still got 3 of the 20 yet to set a lap, and 2 of them, I believe, are on them. Well, one of the two, both of them were on laps. Perm Bowden was off the track at Les Combes as Prof makes his way out the bus stop. He has a big mistake though on the exit of turn 17, goes into 7th place. It might just be enough to see him go through to the next part of qualifying. We've still got loads of time on the board though, and especially in these conditions, drivers tend to stay out for a couple of laps, doing a few laps, doing time lapse on the same tyre. Danny Apex still not yet left the pit lane, as Phil, I think, has just completed his lap and moves into 5th place with a 156.906. We're definitely not going to get dry tyres by the end of this session, but it's seemingly getting a bit faster as Chuckle, the man that won last season, has put himself back on top in Q1. We've got a bit of a car park on the exit of La Source as we go down towards Eau Rouge. So Danny Apex is now put himself on the circuit to be able to do some time runs. Oh, commentator's curse if I've ever seen it. Danny Apex is out of qualifying. He lost it on the exit of the Les Combes chicane at turn 9. And will be starting 20th place on the grid. I think the Pretender is on the lap. There is a yellow flag in sector 2. The car should be cleared away. The ghosting on. Anyway, it's not really a bother. It can just be a slight distraction, but nothing more than that as we make our way around towards the no-name corner at turn 11, and then down this short stretch towards Pouhon, turn 12. You get it into the apex and out onto the curb on the right hand side, mid corner, and then swooping back through onto the exit into the Campos chicane. And then we move on to Stavelot. And now we're on the run towards Blanchemont before we get to the bus stop. With these cars, as we see the Pretender, I think he's backed out actually, so we'll have to wait a little while longer to see if he can improve. As Mixer does improve, moves just behind his teammate in 9th place with a 1:57.299. We've got Bugatti out on the lap at the moment, 3/4 of a second up on his previous lap time as he makes his way towards Blanchemont, and now going through Blanchemont. There is probably a slight lift here. It depends on the downforce setup. Downforce on the setup. It also depends, of course, on whether we have a dry race, because if that's the case, drivers are going to have the minimal amount of downforce. They can change their front wing after Parc Fermé rules. As Bugatti moves into 3rd place with a 1:56.2. Just as I say that, we get Lee back in the box. It's just a tradition now, Lee. I think you're just going to have to do it every week now.
Yep. A wee quick disappearing act, and yeah. So a little bit of technical difficulties again. Beautiful. But oh, we've seen Chuck. He's out.
Oh, I didn't actually.
Oh, you didn't even notice. That's ready on actually.
I was doing the worst. I was looking at Danny Apex actually and did the worst bit of commentating. Worst
Really?
commentator's curse, yeah. Yeah. I said he got out on the circuit and he was able to do a time lap, and as soon as I said that, he came out of the Les Combes chicane at turn 9, just before you go down a little straight for the 180 degree turn of Brussels. You know which one I'm about? Full down lane corner, and he spun out and hit the wall and his tyre came off. Literally as soon as I said it. So I'm going to have to apologise to him because that's partly my fault, as I'm just on board with Pern Bowden, who has yet to set a lap time. He's on 1:27.1 in the middle sector. As we get closer to Longchamp, as I was saying, just before he came back on, as we see from Pern Bowden there, just probably a little left through that corner as we go to the bus stop chicane. Checker flag is now out. Royal Rumble is going to be sitting for a little while waiting, as he's going to be starting 17th, as well as Pern Bowden, who's in 18th. We've got Aki, who's making his way as Matthew goes into first place right at the end with a 54.9. And Aki making his way around the final corner of turn 19 at the exit of the bus stop, and gets over the line to make it safe as it stands. We've got Prof on a lap as well, and I think he's right to do so. Hopefully he'll be able to improve. He is almost 8 tenths up on his lap time as he makes his way into the final 2 corners. Somewhat missed the apex of turn 18, but he makes his way to the line. He goes third fastest. That brings Looney Man down, because Chuck is going to be starting 15th, seeing as his lap time's far improved than the ones around him. Just drops him down to that position, because that's where he will be starting. So we'll have 14 for the next session as he moves up to 13th place. That's Stephen Jones. We've got the Pretender crossing the line now. Stays 17th. So is Looney Man going to be able to make it safe and drop Aki out? He does. Aki's out in Q1, and Looney Man has saved himself.
After being able to just get it out there of the drop zone, then he just gets placed back into it right at the end. So we'll have a wee quick rundown of the Q1 results, the first of 3 sessions. So we've got Matthew first, Chuckle second, and Prof was third. Taylor, Danny and Racing Matt in fifth, and fourth and fifth, and sixth was Bugatti Slovan, Ginge seventh, Faulkner 8th, 9th, Lee Craig, Looney Man 10th, Matty Jones 11th, Nick's at 12th, Phil in 13th, 14th to Stephen Jones. Chuck unfortunately crashed, he'll be starting 15th. Aki the Pretender, Royal Rumble, Pern Bowden and Danny Apex all will not be moving on to the next session.
Yes, and Danny Apex was the only driver not to set a lap time. So are we going to have similar conditions? Is it going to improve or gotten worse? Looking like it was, it may stay the same. It is supposed to be in real time 10 minutes later, but sometimes when we go into the next session, it almost feels like it's been an hour later. So it could be bone dry, as I think the rain stopped, Lee. I think we still got a wet surface, but the rain has stopped.
Ooh.
So do we have a bit of a waiting game now? Do we think?
Well, I was seeing a couple of people on the softs there, the two mats. So, are they going to be going out on them? Chuckle as well. So, see Stephen Jones, first one out. He's on intermediate tyres, Simon Nixa. Just seeing if any of these soft runners, well, people on the softs are coming out.
Well, there's some on the intermediates coming out, including Ginge and Nixer, and personally, and I think you would have the same mindset as me, Lee, instead of waiting, I'd at least get a lap time on the board in these changing conditions, because at least you've got yourself a bit of a banker.
Yeah, definitely. Just in case the lap time, maybe the track doesn't get better and it gets worse. Always best to get that lap time in.
It does look like it's getting better. The only thing, of course, which is one of many criticism I have of this game and kind of past games as well, because it's not really stopped doing it. It certainly dries up far too quickly, and I wish there was a way that they could also just sort of have a dry line start coming in instead of the whole track drying at an equal measure.
Yeah.
Now, Lee, what you were just saying then about just getting a lap and potentially it'll get worse, it's just started to rain again. I can see it just on the camera of Ginge in the Alfa Romeo. He's got no one in front of him to be causing any sort of spray to get those drops on the camera. So the rain is back. Fulton is coming out on the soft tyre. Maybe actually to go on to the softs, because the track looks pretty good actually. If you'd come out on the soft straight away, if the rain doesn't start getting heavier for a minute or two, the soft tyre might have actually been the tyre of choice.
Yeah, it could be worth the risk. Just getting in that quick window where the softs will just be that little bit quicker. There we go, DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, and we've got Faulkner out on the softs. We've got Lee Craig on the softs. The only thing that I would say for these drivers is I'm not sure why they just didn't come out straight away. It's not an 18-minute session anymore. We've only got 15 minutes. Even on a track this size, 15 minutes gives you time to do 3 laps. And of course, we haven't touched the dry tyres yet until this moment. But with the time they've got on the board now, I don't think they've got enough time for 3 laps.
No, I think what sometimes some of them would be better doing is just coming straight into the pits now and getting a set of softs on, I would say. And maybe doing a couple of laps just to get the time in, pretty much. Save the tyres and that. But we're seeing Stephen Jones just came into sector 3 now. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to come into the pits or is he going to stay on these inters and finish his lap?
You've done all that. If it feels quite good, I would just, which he is going to do, I'd just complete it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
152. Much quicker. The track does seem like we're in a dry state now. Ginge, though, Lee, has done the thing that you just had a suggestion on, has aborted his interlap and just come straight into the pits.
Yeah, I would say there's no point wasting time waiting on like near 2 minutes to get all the way back round and get back into the pits. May as well get the soft tyres on and get your lap time properly done. knows? We're seeing a yellow flag in sector 1. Who'd that be?
An Aston Martin of Bugatti.
Oh, he spun it. Radion.
Yeah, you say 2 minutes, Lee. I kind of think it's well. Also, you've got to be pushed in tyres. Station voice thing. I'm gonna delete that after, or turn it off after this stream's done. I have to do that, otherwise I'll forget again. It's going to be a bit more than two. It's going to be a bit more than 2 minutes, I think, Lee, even just to do an in lap, because I said you're on intermediates on a dry track. You don't want to push it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right there, but yeah, it would take a considerable amount out of your time.
Well, here we go. We're just seeing Stephen Jones, who finished his lap off first. He's just coming into the pits, and just as he was coming into the pit lane, or just as he comes up to the line, 1 minute and 56. It was to do his lap time, 1:45 for Lee Craig. So the intermediates, it was good they just got the banker in, but the track conditions have changed completely now.
Yep, definitely. The track is drying up and it's getting quicker and quicker. But I will say, you could see the track's got drier way too quick.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, it'd be more realistic if we were starting to see a bit of a dry line form, and you know, I'd love the game in wet conditions. If you went off that line, it just punished you really badly. I actually really like that skill set, because the whole track's dry, and that wouldn't be the case. I suppose there is a slightly damper patch on the left. It looks a little bit darker surface, but sorry, I was just on board with Matthew Jones. You wouldn't have known that, but just off the racing line, slightly darker. But if you got on it, it's not really going to be a problem. As Bill goes 8/10 faster than Lee Craig. Of course, we have got the DRS enabled now as Ginge starts his first lap in Q2. The racing Matt just about to come across the line. Faulkner just did with a 46.5, 44.4 for racing Matt.
First one into the 44s. Nicely done there from that.
So we're getting up to pretty good. We're about, what, 2 seconds off, 1.5 seconds off a fully dry, rubbered in track, I think, now.
Possibly. Just having a look and seeing. So I think he's going to be Martin next. He's coming into sector 3 now.
Yeah, he's done a 1:15 in the first sector. In the second sector, sorry. As we make our way towards the final 2 corners with Matthew, and of course was renowned last season for getting pole right at the very end. We still got a bit of time before we see Q3, but in Q2 he's done a 43.656.
That is a considerable gap.
We've got a McLaren just about to finish his lap. That's Looney Man. He did a 1:16 in the second sector. I did that last time. So he's going to be a bit behind Matthew, and is in 4th place with a 1:45.2. As Ginge crosses the line, goes second fastest with a 43.9. So that's quite a bit closer to Matthew's time set a few moments ago. The champ's up next, Lee.
So let's see, coming into the final chicane. But Ferrari man a chuckle. Let's see what time he's going to be able to put on the board. Is he going to be able to beat that 1:43.6? And yes, he does. He gets it just by an absolute ball hair. 1:43.652. No, 6:32. my mistake. Was that 23 thousandths of a second?
Yeah, something like that.
That is insane.
There's Prof just about to finish his lap. A 1:44.497.
Got Taylor Danny coming into the final chicane. See what time he's going to be able to put on the board. Is he going to be able to get out the drop zone? And yes, he does into fourth with 144.191. Let's see who we've got in the drop zone. We've got Faulkner who's coming into the final chicane. He's pulling into the pits now.
So, how long left do we have on the clock if we get the lap 2 sector yellow flag sectors off the? So we got just under 4 minutes on the clock. 4 minutes, I think. I mean, it's like for Stephen Jones there. That's going to be tight for him to get in and back out again. Very. I don't know if it's even going to be possible, to be honest.
I don't think so. I think, in all honesty, if he's not got enough fuel, he could be buggered unless
He's got 2.3 laps of fuel, actually, so...
Well, fortunately enough, that could work in his favour. We see Ginge. He's comfortable. So is Matthew. They believe that they're going to get through it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised the top three feel comfortable in the 143s. So we've got Bugatti. He's got no fuel on board. Is he going to go for a lap or is he going to dive in because he's got the time? No, he's going to go again. There's 3 minutes left on the board, so all or nothing lap now for the Aston Martin driver as he makes his way into Les Source, and now we go on the descent towards Eau Rouge and then ascend up towards Radion.
Radion, actually. It just comes into my head every time.
Yeah, it does me. It does mine as well. As we see the Aston Martin driver make his way down the Kemmel Straight, breaking it around the 50-metre board break really late at the end of the Kemmel Straight into the Lake Com chicane, at the final part of that chicane at turn 9, then down the hill to Brussels. And then making our way to turn 11, no name corner, as he now invalidates. And he hasn't got the fuel on the board, he hasn't got the time left on the clock, Lee, so I think that means Bugatti will be out in Q2.
That's a bit of a bummer there, mate. Oh, well, Craig getting ready to start his lap. He's in the drop zone at the moment.
So we got Looney Man, we've got 1 minute and 34, so he's got himself a decent amount of time. Who else we've got out there? We've got Faulkner, who's getting close to starting his lap. Next to though, Lee, he hasn't really got time to waste. We've got 1 minute and 10 on the clock. He's coming into turn 10. Now at no name. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, actually. Not at that speed, he's doing.
If he does, I'm going to be really surprised. It would be good to see that, but hey ho.
Bugatti gets himself well out the way. So we've really got Stephen Jones, who's just started a lap, but he's already invalidated it. So he's really in danger now, and Looney Man is about to pit, so he can do no more. I'm watching now Lee Craig in the Ferrari make his way around turn 12 of Pouhon as we make our way towards Compass. And really is now an all or nothing lap. We've got 10 seconds on the board, so we will see the checker in a few seconds time. And
Nixa just makes it there.
Whoa.
Just coming in out of turn 1 now.
So he was keeping an eye on that. I think we will have Lee Craig up first. Then we have Vil. He moves up to 5th place. So he's sure to be safe now. With only 3 drivers at risk at the bottom now. Lee Craig just scrapes into the top 10. Stephen Jones will be another driver out. Faulkner has invalidated. So Nexa Lee is the only driver that can get himself out of the bottom 4 now. And Lee Craig is still at risk.
Yep, definitely. And the thing is, if he was just 100th of a second quicker, he could have been properly safe from Looneyman, but Looneyman's coming into Sector 3 now, and he seems to be up on his time by nearly 3/10, which could put him up past Matty Jones.
So as he makes his way around the final corner, he's safe anyway. But he'll just finish that lap and moves himself up into 8th. Moves Matty Jones down, but he'll be safe as well as Nexus comes up towards the bus stop chicane. He's done a 150 the last time around. It's quite a way off his competitors' times. Doesn't have the best exit out of the bus stop and goes 12th, the fastest. And Lee Craig breathes a sigh of relief as he makes his way into the final part of qualifying with another 12 minutes to go.
Yep, and that would have been quite a nail-biting moment there for Lee Craig, who just gets through it by the skin of his teeth. So, having a wee quick rundown there of the guys that are going to be moving on to the 3rd stage of qualifying. We've got Chuckle in 1st, Matthew 2nd, Racing Matt in 3rd, Ginge 4th, Taylor Danny 5th, 6th was Vil, Prof 7th, Looneyman 8th, Matty Jones is in 9th, and Lee Craig just making it through there in 10th. The people out are Stephen Jones, Nixa, Faulkner and Bugatti Slovan. They will not be moving on to the next stage of qualifying.
But of course we will be, as we just have to wait a few seconds to get ourselves underway for the final part of qualifying, the fight for pole position between the top 10. So we've got a sun out, they've got the sun out in the sky, the track is fully dried up now, so I don't think we've got any worries for the rain to reappear within the next 12 minutes. It may happen, but unlikely to do so again.
Yep, and that appears to be the 3 of them coming out at the exact same time. A Red Bull, a McLaren and an Alpha Tauri.
Well, with this track being the longest, in sort of it's 5.5 minutes to do the full the full session of a qualifying lap, the out lap, the fast lap, and then the in lap. We're talking 5.5 minutes. So most drivers, and they will all have 2 sets of tyres because they didn't use them in the first part of qualifying, but they will all have to get on with it pretty quickly. They can't really sit around for the next minute or two, as it's looking like the case. We're pretty much getting everyone out all at once.
Yep, it appears to Taylor Danny and Prof that's coming out. Taylor Danny's not. That's weird. I thought he would have been out quite quickly, just like the R9, but here we go, that's him coming in now. Possibly trying to get a bit of a clean track. 2 seconds.
Yeah, so now we've got all 10 drivers out on the circuit for their first runs. Taylor Danny's probably just scraping the amount of time he needs. Of course, the time is nowhere near as much for your final attempt because you've only got to think about your out lap and then your fast lap. But of course, it's only your out lap really, because you can finish your lap if you cross the line before the checkered flag comes out, so... But it's just good to get your first lap in, have a breather, and then go for your second. Give yourself 2 or 3 minutes just to think about your previous lap, what you didn't do so well. As we watch Racing Matt start the procession of cars down the start finish to start their first of 2 attempts in this final qualifying session. Wait to see what Racing Matt can do. He makes his way through Le Com and into Brussels. Just remember, guys, we're back every Wednesday and Thursdays from now on. No more Sundays to speak of. And these back with us.
Yep, I just seen Prof there spun out at the final corner just as he was waiting to start his final lap. So
he's still got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean that's a bugger. He's a lap start, but
he could make it all back. It's a long circuit here as well, so there is a chance he could make it back. As we're just waiting for Racing Matt to finish his first attempt, and so got a train of cars behind him after that. Is Matthew is behind him, isn't he?
Looneyman, is it?
Yes, yeah, sorry, yeah, behind Looneyman. That's what I meant to say. So as we watch Racing Matt cross the line, obviously takes provisional poles. He's the first driver to set a lap. Looneyman crosses the line, goes third, and Matthew takes provisional pole with a 1:43.4, and then Ginge snatches that away with a 43.2. We've had the Haas of Matty Jones do a lap of 1:49.3. Lee Craig is dived into the pit, so he's giving up on his first attempt. We just saw Bill cross the line there with a 1:44.292. Chuckle crosses the line, goes back onto the front row where he finished off in the second part of qualifying. We've got Prof up next. I'm not sure if he's going to complete. I think he will do. He's well out of the pole time range. He's going to be in 7th place.
Yep, I think this is him going for it now, Proper. That is.
To be fair, he's got the fuel and he still has the time. I think he just has time.
Yep, definitely. But yeah, I noticed he was saving the battery there, and yeah, so he'll be going again.
So the track will quieten down. Prof will eventually be the only one on circuit. That'll be on his in-lap though, as Taylor Diney is behind him, but he's on a flyer once again. Sparks flyer plenty out the back of that Mercedes as he makes his way into Campos and then down towards the right-hander of Stavolo. On Paul 3 and then on to Blanchimont. And obviously he's had no big dramas on this lap, so this time it's going to be a lot better than his last one, which was pretty much a double warm-up lap. As he makes his way across the line, 44.4, moves into 7th place. He's got 5 minutes on the clock, so I think he's got enough time, Lee, to get back in and get back out again.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'll give him probably even a minute to just sit there and make sure everything is properly done. and set up for his final run. But yeah, I guess this is going to be the quiet before the storm now. We're just going to be waiting for Matty Jones and Croft to get back into the pits.
Oh! No, we're not. Croft is out. I just caught it, but I went off it straight after us. We couldn't see what happened. He's binned it at the third part of Les Combes at turn 9 by looks things on the track map, top right corner of the track. So we've lost a driver to the Spa circuit league on every qualifying session.
Yeah. That is quite unfortunate, to be honest. I mean, I know that this track has got quite a few points that you need to be a little bit more cautious of and not get on the power.
It's certainly an old school track, isn't it? Certainly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's one of my favourites, especially with, like, you know, basically nowadays you can call it a straight from Les Source to Les Combes, you know, with the Camel Straight down in the middle, DRS straight.
Yeah, it's just no lifting.
It's mega, and especially with the challenge of Eau and Raidillon in the middle of it, because even though it's flat, it's still a challenge, especially with high fuel. Actually, I would arguably say sometimes it's not flat, especially on the first lap.
Yeah.
No one ever goes flat. Maybe the leader will, but everyone else will concertina up, and it's all about judging as well, especially down that Camel Straight at the start, when to brake or lift off for that straight, for that steep climb, because it can really hurt you at the end of the straight if you brake at the wrong point.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you've got the at Les Combes, you've got the high curbs, and that if you get a bit too much on, they can
they like to spit you off. Yeah, yeah, they like to spit you off.
Oh, seen the guys start to come out their garages now. Seen the Lee Craig first one out, and then Racing Matt, who's currently sitting fifth, and then we've got Ginge. I think that's Taylor, Danny, Lehman. Oh. No, is Phil going to come out? He's left it too late.
He's left it far too late. He should have been out. He should have pressed the button to say he wanted to come out 25-30 seconds ago now.
Yep.
So
that's it. You fluffed it, mate.
So we haven't paid attention this time. They haven't done our jobs properly. So we'll maybe able to work it out still. So Lee Craig's up first. Then we have Racing Mass, I think.
Oh yeah, Racing Matt, then Looney Man.
Then Looney Man.
Then Ginge.
Then Ginge. Then Taylor. Okay, we'll stick with that for now. And then we've got a Ferrari behind him. That'll be Chuckle. And a Haas behind him. That'll be Matthew Jones. And then we've got a Red Bull at the very back, which is Matthew, predictably always at the back at the end of qualifying, so he likes to stick it on pole right at the very end. Not saying that's going to happen, but it does become a bit of a trend with him. As we'll watch Lee Craig make his way down the Camel Straight. And as Lee said, the high curb, especially down on the inside there, on the apex curb as well, and then into turn 9 as well, and then the exit as well, which you want to take a lot of curb there, but you want to be careful it doesn't spit you off, which sometimes it likes to do, and there's a nice bit of gravel on the outside as well. And all this section here, the curves are just, sometimes they're really kind to you, Lee, and then sometimes, other times they're having a bad day.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite annoying. Like sometimes you could just breeze right across them, and other times they're your worst nightmare.
And of course, people are quite try to be quite generous on the curb on the outside of Stavolo before we start going down this straight that we're with the Craig. He actually had a bit of a hesitation with a throttle there, going through Blanchimont by the sounds of things. As he makes his way into the final corner, he seems to get the apex quite nice on both parts of the chicane. Obviously stick to the right hand side as he makes his way to the line. Fourth, he will at least be on the second row of the grid as we go back. Goes third fastest. And then Looney Man stays 10th fastest. And Ginge goes on to provisional pole with a 1:43.1. Taylor Danny's up next, stays 6th. Got Chuckle, the reigning champion. Is he going to snatch pole away at the final seconds? He does, just for the time being. He's still on provisional pole as we wait for Matthew to come across the start-finish line. He's 3/10 up on his time so far and goes on to pole. Matthew _XY3 is certainly RTG's Mr. Saturday.
Definitely there's. So we'll have a wee quick rundown there of the order for the top 10 there. So we've got Matthew who sticks on pole right at the end there. We've got Chuckle in P2, Ginge is in P3, Rice and Matt 4th, 5th is Lee Craig, Taylor Danny in 6th, 7th was Matty Jones, 8th was Vil Prof in 9th, and Looneyman in 10th. So that was quite interesting near the end there.
Yeah, certainly. So the top two that will start the race both got the fastest lap right at the very end, but Matthew was pipped Chuckle by just over 1/10 of a second. So what's the race looking like then? Dry as it stands. The track is dry. The weather is going to be dry for the time being. So shortest amount of laps run here is about 22 laps. Of course, being the longest circuit, it will have the shortest lap count. And of course, with that in mind, Lee, the track is not kind with safety cars. With the lack of laps that we have here, the more safety cars you have, it can knock out almost half your race if you have two safety cars, 2 or 3 safety cars.
And there's one thing that needs addressed, I would say, for the next game is that it just kind of ruins it for you, as you just spend the majority of the race sitting behind the woman's safety car.
Well, the one thing that I'm also slightly disappointed about, they brought 35% races in, but they haven't gone back to when they used to have 75%. I don't know, sort of almost probably 8 years ago now. And I'm sure there would be a lot of leagues that probably would do 75% races.
Possibly, yeah.
Because there has been times where I've raced and, I've really enjoyed the race. I thought, it's just ended a bit soon.
Yeah. I would say that.
Sometimes 100% races, they are a bit of a slog. I do appreciate, obviously, we're usually all sat in our bedrooms, living rooms, wherever we are, like on the controller or our wheels. So we're appreciative where they're actually sat in a car with all the other elements that we don't get to feel or see. What else we're rubbish about things like that? We'll put the tyres up. Mainly mediums across the board, Lee. 3, 4, 5 drivers. Yeah, top 2 on the hards, and then 3 in the bottom half.
Yeah, Big Guy, Pretender, and Danny Apex. Although right now Danny Apex don't know what he is doing there.
So we've got Nixa, who's got himself disqualified from the formation lap, so he'll be set back in his box. He's actually left the session now. I'm glad we got ghosting on, so that kind of won't actually cause a problem. Danny Apex Lee is actually really far back. The queue is quite spread out. Matthew just about to line up on pole. And Chuckle not too far behind, but there is a bit of a queue. Matthew's going to have a bit of a wait now. He's going to have a good 20 or 30 seconds wait, I believe.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was considerable gap to Danny, from Danny Apex to the grid there.
Yeah, he has now caught back up with drivers doing their standard 360 spins. Danny Apex lines up on the back row. We've got all the drivers lined up. Chuck has actually been disqualified as well, so he's going to sit a bit further back. We've got an Alfa Romeo pointing to the left-hand side. We've got 5 red lights, and we're away for season 11 of Thursday Tier in Road to Glory. And now we've got Chuckle getting a really good launch off the line, as well as racing Matt on the medium tyres. It looks like Matthew's been able to hold on for the time being. We do have a yellow flag. Looks like there's been a bit of contact in the back as we go down towards Eau Rouge, and then up through Radion. We're seeing an Alfa Romeo and a Red Bull go side by side through Radion, and now they get back on the straight. And as we go down towards Lake Com, down the Kemmel Straight, the Alpha Tauri's on the inside of the Red Bull. He tries to go up the inside. They almost make contact. They're still going side by side as they go into turn 9 at Lake Com and down towards Brussels. Still almost glued together as they make their way through turn 10 and now through No Name Corner, and Racing Matt has moved himself back up into 3rd place.
Yeah, look at Danny Apex keeping that gap on the formation lap to make sure his tyres are nice and toasty for the start. It's actually helped him out quite a bit as he's up into 14th, up 6 places there. You've seen Royal Rumble and Aki and Bugatti Sloven up 5 places.
Yeah, a very, very decent amount of places, especially for Danny Apex. His long formation lap certainly helped him in good stead. Stephen Jones, though, is round all that. Almost maybe jumped there. Luckily he was ghosted, but he was reversing backwards into oncoming traffic. So as we make our way into the bus stop chicane for the first time in this race, Chuckle is leading the way as we cross the
side. And there was a little bit of contact there, and
Looney Man is round as well.
Yep, that was from the contact with him and Vil there. And yeah, that sent Lehman to the left-hand side of the track. So he's moved down quite a considerable margin from 7th all the way down to 13th. So we're going to see an overtake from Prof. It looks like it could possibly going into Lakon, but he's not, he decides against it. But it is close enough. Tender and Faulkner battling it out for 14th place. Oh, and a little bit of contact there. Faulkner just hits the back of the Pretender, and that was Lee Craig just getting his nose in there, sniffing in there, see if he can make up for any mistake.
And Lee Craig's got damage.
Is he? Oh, that's going to be a killer for him.
Right front of the end plate.
Yep, just noticed that there. Oh,
So,
we've got Chuck and Aki side by side. Battle now for 9th place. Aki managing to hold on. And actually get past Chuck there.
the two teammates are running 8th and 9th. But we know Chuck, who finished second in the championship last season, has got some pace under his right foot and he's trying to use that to the best of his advantage as he tries to make his way up. As we get DRS and Avald, and crucially, Lee, the top two are neck and neck as we go down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. And as we make our way up, it almost is like the Alfa Romeo is pushing the Ferrari up towards Radion as we now go down the Kemmel Straight. Of course, Chuckle doesn't have the DRS. He's defenceless and has to give up that first place as we make our way down the grid. We've got Chuck going up the inside of Aki and splitting the two Mercedes. And of course, drivers are going to be wanting to run as little downforce as possible here, because the straights are long and there are plenty of them. Oh, we've got a battle at the back, Lee.
Oh, Matty Jones and Perm Bowden. Oh, Aki is the first one of the lot to get a penalty.
Yeah, he's the
3
first
seconds.
one. Very early on as well, so literally, well, on average, he's got a warning a lap.
Yep. And we're seeing a little bit of a train build up, and oh, Faulkner just gets a little bit of tail happy there, and just goes right off the track. Unfortunately, this isn't cars, you don't turn right to go left.
As we go back to the front,
Oh, who's that? I got a
Bugatti, the Aston Martin, round at the final corner.
Down into 14th now, so the pretender to get past.
So, back to the front, we've got Taylor Down, he's just dropped out of that now, so really it's the top four that are quite closely packed together. But a lot of them running real decent straight line speeds, as Chuck now gets past the other Mercedes in the exact same spot he did on Aki the previous lap, as Matty moves up on Lee Craig, so suffering that wing damage which will have an effect.
Oh, no, seen Royal Rumble having a wee go at Aki there, going through Brussels there. And looks like he's right on the tailpipe of Aki and the Mercedes going around pull on, but he's just lost that gap a little. Let's see if he will be able to make him move anytime soon.
The field, as always, is so closely packed, and now we've had Aki getting the first penalty, now being a cropper at Paul Ferret, as we make our way down to the final braking zone of the bus stop. I think he's got... No, he hasn't got any damage actually, so he's got away with it. He's about to go side by side though with Stephen Jones. Whoa, that was close, as Stephen actually just makes his way around the outside. Did go off the track in the process though, but he's been able to hold position as Aki now makes his way into the pit lane. So it just looked like he's got some damage and almost hits the wall for good measure into the pit lane as we go down the Kemmel Straight.
Oh, we're seeing Chuck going for a move around the side of Vil
Whoa.
into Lecco. What a move there from the Alfa Romeo driver, moving up into 6th place there.
He's certainly been making He's certainly been making some gains in the first 5 laps. How many positions has he moved up? 9 places in 5 laps. Almost 2 positions a lap.
That is quite good, definitely offering the driver desperate to get up as much as he can. He's got just over 3 seconds to tailor Danny ahead for 5th place. At the rate he's going, he'll be caught up to him in a couple of laps.
Yeah, we can keep the pace up. As Matthews at the back of this train, this 4-car train.
And they're all within a second. Well, Matthews within a second of Ginge in first. Oh, you see Matthew nearly going into the back of
he does!
And he does!
That's caused Racing Matt to spin. He did actually go set. That was quite an odd occurrence. And now Chuck gets that 5th place. And he's almost up on the lead pack, Lee.
Yep, but one thing's for sure is he's going to be a sitting duck. Really. He's
Jones.
not got any ERS, but Matty Jones is around. He's top all the way down into 19th.
As now Chuckle goes up the inside of Ginge. And Racing Matt takes that place back off Chuck. So now back into 6th, but he's got that 5th place right ahead of him now, not 3 seconds down the road like it was. And he has gained a little bit of time on Taylor Danny, but no, actually not really. It's actually kind of pretty stable, but the front 2, Lee, are now starting to pull away, but Matthews' tyres surely will be starting to get some pace in them, as we've got a yellow flag in the second sector.
Oh, all clear now. Seen Matthews quite a big distance back after fitting in for them hard compound tyres. Is that going to last him to the end of this race? I'm not sure.
So just on board towards the back, Lee, with Faulkner, who is very close to Stephen Jones and that Williams, and we do know that even though he's out of DRS down this straight, you somehow, usually, if you've got the downforce to match it, or the lack of downforce to match it, which doesn't look like the case for Faulkner, you can get a mega toe down towards the bus stop, almost like you do have the DRS.
Oh yeah, definitely. It just depends on the proper timing, really, and setup.
So Matthew just starting to claw back some time towards the front. But it's been an impressive drive so far for Chuck. And if anyone's watching the race who are not racing, or listening to race who are not racing, whichever, let us know in the comments who your pick of the driver of the day would be. Me and Lee get to pick at the end of the race. Last night, who was it last night, Dave? I've already forgotten. Phil. Was it Phil?
Phil.
Oh, it was Phil. Yeah, Phil, of course, who isn't in tonight. He was our driver of the day, but at the moment it looks like Chuck is already. I'm siding for my vote to go by his way at the moment.
Yep, up to now he has been quite good the past 7 laps, but you could see that battery is pretty much gone. It's not got any energy left in it, and he's still trying to use it.
And he's within DRS range of Matty. He's desperately trying to stay in it. It is helping claw back some time on Racing Matt, who is all alone at the moment, not being able to have any DRS. Sorry, Taylor Danny all on his own, not being able to have the DRS.
Yep, so he's going to be able to get out to the oh, who's that? Bugatti slowly managing to get past the Pretender. Steve Jones getting a 3-second time penalty there. Bernd Boden, even with DRS, isn't able to make a move on Lee Craig. I think that Alpine is just lacking the, well, it's got a lot. No. Bloody hell. It's not got.
Oh, Matthew! Something we see far too often. Far too often. I was thinking of that before. If he can match his qualifying pace to what he does in qualifying to what he could do in the race, he would certainly be a championship contender. But just the consistency it lacks on. Hopefully, it's just an issue which a lot of people have on F1 22, and when we go to 23, that hopefully will change for him. But just struggles with the right foot sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. It is an easy mistake to make, especially when you're wheel to wheel with other drivers, or you're getting put under that pressure from the car behind. So yeah, you do tend to now and again just get a bit heavy-footed, but yeah, easy mistake to make, I would say. Seen Matthew with the DRS, he's not going to be able to make any considerable gains as Chuck has the DRS on racing Matt also.
The engine's just breaking away into the lead now as well.
Chuckle.
Sorry. Chuckle, just breaking away. Lee, I can see raindrops. I can see rain.
Oh!
Rain has come upon us. We didn't think that was going to happen. We haven't spoke about it, I think, since qualifying. That's just changed everything. Are we staying out? I'm surprised. It was probably a bit long, and no wonder most drivers went on the mediums. Probably a little bit long for the soft tyre this. But what do we do? This is the agonising question now. Do you come in straight away? How heavy is this rain going to get? It's a long old lap round here. Big decisions need to be made in the coming seconds for Chuckle. Is he going to dive in? No, he stays out for another lap. As well as Taylor Danny. All the drivers staying out. DRS disabled. That might call some people in. That really may call some people in. And Looney Man. Danny Apex was kind of forced to stay out, but is that actually going to slow him down more than having to wait behind his teammate in the box as the Pretender comes in? Lee Craig now dives in as well. It's pretty much everyone at the back is going to dive in. This gives them a huge opportunity to make up some time.
No, yep, exactly. Everyone is fitting on the intermediate tyres. Going to possibly see Faulkner. Yep, he's going to be getting a little bit of a delay in pit stop due to double stacking. Jesus, couldn't even get the words out there. But these top 11 who are still on the dry compound tyres are still going to be a bit of a pain for them.
Yeah, especially in this latter stage of the lap.
Yeah, definitely, as the rain is getting worse and worse by the second. And we'll have a wee quick look at the interval to the leader and we'll see the times. So from Bugatti to Looney Man, it's only 13 seconds. Oh, and Matthew's around.
Matthew spun at Paul Ferret. and getting overtaken by his teammate now, who's still not pit. And that caused the VSC? That's caused the VSC. They may have got away with it.
Oh.
Drive-through penalty for Per Bowden speeding under the VSC. So she's going to slow one of those drivers down. Some of them still coming into the rocks now. Shuffles out back into the lead again. That's done them a massive favour, Lee. Looney Man, drive-through penalty. Lee?
Yep, sorry, just yeah. 2 seconds.
So it's just BSC has ended. Everyone now on the intermediate tyre. Chuckle getting himself a 3.5 second gap to the car behind.
Yep, sorry about that there.
No,
so that's a bit unfortunate that some of them weren't able to make as much of an impact as intended. See Looney Man about just under 3 seconds. Well, 2.2 seconds, sorry, on his teammate, so he gained a lot of time there.
So Chuckle still ended up, after the changing conditions and all the pit stops, still in 6th place. But this, of course, overtaking it a lot harder is Looney Man is in the pits.
That's interesting.
So is pretend. Oh yeah, of course I drive through.
I will say sometimes this game is a little bit harsh, but hey ho, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Matthew looks like he's going for a move on. Danny Apex down the Kimmel straight. He's on the right hand side, Danny Apex on the left. And he's got past. He's got the inside line for the comb. Is Danny Apex going to be able to fight back? I don't think he is, nope. And Matthew seals it. And that's 8th place for the Red Bull driver. Nicely done there. Van Boden, 3 second time penalty there. Chuck ain't too far off hill, he's getting a little bit skittish there. Just sitting on the tail of that Aston Martin. You see Chuck going for a move. Oh, there's a little bit of love tap there at the back of that Aston Martin there. Just coming into the bus stop chicane. Chuck unfortunately just couldn't get the grip there. Coming out of the final corner. Lost a little bit of time there. Seems to be the closest battle that is on track right now. There's battle for 5th place. There's a head up Radion We see Chuck getting a 3-second time penalty, but he's going to be still going for that 5th position as he's sitting right on the back of that Aston Martin, trying to get as much of the slipstream as possible, but unfortunately he's not got the battery in order to compete with the straight line speed of that Aston Martin.
So that is going to really hinder him now, having that 3-second time penalty. Just a quick note, 4.5 seconds, or just over that, the gap between first and second now. Shuffle really took a hold of this race since the changing conditions, the changed conditions. Seems like we've sort of levelled out now in terms of the conditions for the time being. So we're just going to have some light rain.
Oh, Chuck, is he going to go for the move now into the bus stop chicane? He's looking to the outside. Oh, you see Bill parking it right in the middle of the track, making sure that it doesn't leave Chuck any space in order to get past. Nicely done there from Bill.
So, we've been watching this battle unfold for the last couple of laps. Chuck looking like he's got a really good run this time up Eau Rouge and Radion. As you see, he's going to have to try and go the long way round. Does brake to get alongside him. Now has the inside line for turn 8 and gets past as we get to turn 9. But now has the work to do to get out of that 3-second penalty window.
I think there was a little bit of contact with the pair of them as they were going through the middle section of Lacombe. Now who is that that's causing that yellow flags? That was Aki. Just at the end of sector 2 there.
For a track like Belgium as well, I don't think we've had Nexa here since the start, unfortunately. I don't think.
Nope.
But to have all drivers that started the race still in it at Spa is, I'm quite impressed.
Yep, definitely. And we've only got 7 laps to go.
Oh, as Prof just lost a place there. What's going on with Prof? He's going very slowly into the pit lane. Very slowly indeed, that's strange. Where's that going to drop him down to? Well, Prof's retired.
Oh,
Very strange. Yeah, very decent point scoring position there. It's strange to retire with over half the race gone. We're about 2/3 through the race.
could be an emergency of some sort, but hey ho.
Looked like he almost had a problem with his wheel or something.
Ah,
Because he was going so slowly. As the Looney Man has left us.
oh,
Just trying to see if he can send them in lightly. If that's the problem, maybe I'll be able to get back in. Maybe I'll be able to get back in. So half a second separates Gatti and Danny Apex. Gatti has a bit of a moment. In the middle of Puon, turn 12. Just lost a bit of time now as the Craig is as Ginge pits. Interesting call. I wonder why Ginge is pitting. I wonder what he's pitting for.
Oh.
Is the question. Medium tyres.
Mediums? Huh?
The rain has stopped.
Nah.
But I don't think it's going to dry up that quickly.
Nope, I don't think so either. He's going to be struggling on the mediums. I think he's just jumped the gun a little.
Potentially so. It does mean that Taylor Danny and Racing Matt get promoted onto, or Racing Matt gets promoted onto the podium. Taylor Danny moves up one place. It's interesting, but this is going to be an interesting call.
Oh, Stephen Jones spins it at Radion.
Oh dear, I don't think that's going to bring out a VSC or a safety car, which
Nope.
really would have then thrown another dice into the mix.
Yep, he just got what appeared to be like a tank slapper at the top of Radion there, and it just threw him all out of shape.
I definitely think though, Lee, we may get to a point. This is going to be very interesting. The rain is most definitely stopped.
Oh, Taylor Danny and Racing Matt are into the pits now.
So they're responding to what Ginge has been doing, and Ginge looks like he's losing more ground. So maybe these two will be slightly premature as well. As we're on lap 17. With the amount of laps remaining there, I'm very surprised with the weather conditions that they haven't gone for the softs. Very surprised on that.
Could be that they've just not got any more softs left qualifying.
Didn't use them in the first session though. There's an intermediate. I would think they would have one set remaining at least. Is Bugatti and Danny Apex going towards Eau Rouge and Radion almost side by side. Bugatti then backed out of it as we go up the hill and now down the camel straight. Of course, we go past the DRS line, but no DRS in these conditions. That might change very, very soon. The two brothers now 1 and 2, as Racing Matt and Taylor Danny have now both pit. And the Inter still looking like the better tyre, but I think this is now the crossover point, Lee, right now.
Yeah, it does appear so.
Matthew eager to get past, of course, on the intermediate tyre as they make slight contact there as he's trying to go up the inside at Campos at turn 13, but that's to back out of it. And now the race leader is in the box, or coming into the box, and are we going to see the same from his brother in the Alfa Romeo in 1 corner's time? He is as well. So they're all deciding to come in. There's Taylor Danny on the medium tyre, making his way around the final 2 corners. Chuckles just coming out onto the racetrack, and he's on the softs. He's the first driver to choose to go to that set of tyres. Ginge comes through. He's now down in 4th place. So he did jump the gun. The DRS is now enabled once again as we run a short spell of rain, and it's cleared up for the final 5 laps. Some drivers, Lee, choosing the medium, some choosing the softs.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, even just with the last few laps remaining, even then, people will still opt for the medium compound tyres. As though the softs will just fall off the cliff way too quickly. But we're seeing everybody boxing for the dry compound tyre.
I can't remember the last time we've had sort of dries to wet or intermediate tyres and back to dries again.
Nope.
I can't remember that actually. Is Ginger's closing that gap on racing Matt? He thought he could gain some time on Chuckle, in the end he's lost a couple of places and a huge amount of time to the race leader. He's still got the podium in sight. He's actually, where he is right now, he will finish third with the time penalty to racing Matt's name. And as we get into the final stages, we'll have a look at penalties. Apart from Matty Jones, who's on 6 seconds, and Stephen Jones, who's on 6 seconds as well. Everyone else is on 3 seconds as Ginge sets the fastest lap, and I feel like that's going to be pipped in the next minute or two, Lee, by Chuckle on the soft tyre.
I would think so too, as we see Faulkner getting a 3-second time penalty. That's going to drop him down a little further. But unfortunately for him, he's already down in 13th place. Chuckle seems to be making the most out of them soft tyres also. He's opened up quite a gap on Taylor Danny, just behind.
Yeah, and increasing. He's 10 seconds in the lead, and pretty much...
Lee Craig is still on the intermediate tyres.
Very strange. Very strange. I think he's committed to the end on the inters. But yeah, I think he may have not got the memo that we are on the longest circuit on the calendar. On any calendar in F1.
Yeah, true. So it maybe not have been the brightest idea to stay out. It could be hindering him from sitting on with Danny Apex, and it looks like he's catching up quite considerably. And there you go. Also, just as you said, Chuckle getting that fastest lap of the race. Also,
that was 1:45 dead, so we were around 2 seconds off the pole time. Ginge a bit deep into turn 1 as Danny Apex now gets past Lee Craig. He's got to pit, surely.
Yeah, Lee Craig just moved to the side and let Danny Apex through there.
And now he's going into the pits. Very strange pull there. As a racing Matt is right on the back of Ginge. And Ginge was able to get past. He's 1.8 seconds away. So we've got 3 laps to go, or just under that now for the leaders. A lot of drivers still on the preceding lap. We're just starting the third to last lap.
Oh, Stephen Jones bottles it into the wall. No, that's harsh. 3-second time penalty for spinning out bull.
Oh, nah, that's not what we want to see. That's not what we want to see drivers taking themselves out.
No. No? Good. So, at least we're managing to keep on moving on forward.
Yeah, and we're on the penultimate lap now with the race leader. And Taylor Danny just getting on to that penultimate lap, and the 2 behind, desperately trying to catch up with Taylor Danny. And where did Lee Craig come out in the end? He came out in 13th. And it's looking like he'll finish 12th.
Yep, so not really the result he was looking for.
So we make our way down the Kemmel Straight. Ooh, bit of a move to the right and then back to the left again for Ginge. Taking the racing line and Racing Matt taking all of the curb at Lake Com.
Just noticed there, Danny Apex is up 12 positions from last on the grid up into 8th.
Well, we'll have a chat, Lee, for the penultimate. We'll try and do that this season for both days. I'm now swinging, as you've just said that, I'm now swinging towards Danny Apex having the driver of the day. Also, another one for me would be Taylor Danny, who's just kept it nice and clean and looks like he might get, looking likely he's going to get second on the road.
Yep, just as you see that Lee Craig managing to get past Faulkner there.
So we've got a comment from a viewer saying, SpongeBob saying Danny 100% driver of the day. So we'll just take one more thing into consideration. Taylor's only got 4 places. So what are we thinking between Chuck and... I'm going to sway towards Taylor Danny with Chuck having his 3-second time penalty, actually.
I'm swaying towards Danny Apex just for managing to keep it nice and clean up. And he's just got Bugatti just behind him, so he's going to have to see if he'll be able to fend off Bugatti's in the closing moments of this race. He's got 1 lap left to go. Is he going to be able to fend off this Aston Martin? As you see, Matthew getting time penalty.
Matthew just goes past Bill, moves up into 6th on the last lap. But does have a time penalty. So, just before we go to Chuckle, because he's about to finish his final lap already, as we go down the Kemmel Straight with Bugatti, one of maybe 2 chances left to get past Danny Apex, who's looking like he's going to be our driver of the day. And if we go back to the front, and I'm seeing Chuckle make his way through Blanchimont for the last time, already weavingly as he comes down to the bus stop. He has led a commanding race in the second half of the race, and he's slowly making his way to the line. He wins in the first round here in Belgium. The champion has had an excellent start to proceedings, with Taylor Danny going to cross the line in second place and was behind by 8.5 seconds in the end. Ginge rounding out the podium, and Racing Matt and Chuck rounding out the top 5. We go a bit further back though. Bugatti has got one more opportunity as Bill moves up to 6th and 7th for Matthew. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to go for it at the bus stop chicane? He tries to go around the outside, doesn't have the momentum to do so though. He's going to have to hold for 9th place and settle for it as they make their way across the line. So just waiting for the final 5 or 6 drivers to finish the race. It was a pretty good one in terms of nature, in terms of naturally.
Yep, definitely. It was quite a confusing race, but we're seeing just the final lot of drivers just coming across the line now.
Next was the only driver not to start the race, and that was his Ghost's car that did the race for him.
It says
So,
Chuck.
go
I'm
on.
going to say. I'm going to say with Danny Apex for driver of the day personally.
Yes, I'll go for Danny Apex as well.
Yep.
We'll do a couple of shout outs as well. I'm going to have to say, just looking at this before we do the final order quickly, just so Chuck being one, he was probably our runner up, and then Royal Rumble as well, finishing 10th, starting 18th.
Hmm. So, what a quick rundown there of the final order. Seeing Chuckle finishing first and getting that fastest lap. Taylor Danny coming home in second. Excellent race from him, keeping it nice and clean the whole race. Ginge in third. Fourth was Racing Matt. Chuck in fifth, coming up from 15th. 10th place is nicely done from him. Vil in sixth. Matthew in seventh. Danny Apex coming from 20th to 8th. Nicely done from him. Bugatti Sloven in 9th, up from 14th. Royal Rumble up from 18th to 10th. Lee Mann coming home in 11th. 12th was Lee Craig Pretender in 13th. Faulkner 14th. Nixa, who wasn't here this whole race. Matty Jones in 16th. Perm Bowden 17th. And Aki a lap down in 18th. Stephen Jones and Prof did not finish the race, unfortunately.
Standings and what have you, the calendar, sorry. So, for next week, a great one. For next week, we've got Interlagos on Thursday. So check us out in just under a week's time for next Wednesday's tier, and in a week's time for the Thursday tier for both their round two races. Chuckle leading the championship as we go on to Interlagos, the champ high and dry, should we say, after today's race. So we'll catch you next week. The other thing to look out for, we'll be doing another Moments of the Week. It'll be RTG's Moment of the Week from all 3 days, even though we don't see the action from Monday on the LGE channel, but you'll be able to see their Moments of the Week if they are in it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like the video, share with your friends if they like league racing, and subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. We want to get to 300 subs before the end of F1 22, so we've got 4 weeks to do that from next week. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. It's goodbye from me and from Lee.
Peace out.